For this assessment, I have chosen to analyze and compare the user interfaces of the Woolworths and IGA desktop website. Both web pages provide users with the service and platform for users to purchase groceries at home or anywhere. Although the web pages offer similar services, both sites have their own unique characteristics, which affect the flow of user interaction, which I will analyze below through users' observation and several analytical methods. I then select two users who are asked to complete a specific task within the website. In addition to this, I will briefly examine the background of these two users that may be relevant to my analysis. Two of the users I tested were international students studying in Australia. User 1 has been living in Australia for 4 years and has just recently decided to live on her own. User 2 had only been to Australia for a few months and was living in a student accommodation. They both usually buy their own supplies every week and are both looking for convenience as well as efficiency, but their attitudes towards online shopping are not so consistent. User 1 prefers to go to a physical shop than to shop online, as she can then see how fresh the items are. User 2 is less concerned about the expiry date of items and is therefore more familiar and experienced with online shopping. I have selected two tasks for users to complete. The first task is to add users' desired items into the cart, which is add 2 light thickened cream, 1 carton of eggs, and 1 butter to the cart. Second task is to set up home delivery address. Change the address where user want to deliver. The first task was to assess the system's ability to add and remove items, depending on her habits and familiarity with online shopping. User 1 chose to use the text-heavy menu bar to find the desired item and add it directly to her cart, while User 2 easily found the desired item directly using the search bar and opened the item to further check and read the details of the purchase to prevent mistakes. Both users said they would like the IGA shopping cart button to be as prominent as the one in Woolworths and to show how much money they can save on their purchases. By comparing the two systems' ability to set and change delivery dates and times, both users rated Woolworths better than IGA. Users were satisfied with the Woolworths added address when they entered the checkout page. They could fill in it directly on the same page, and there was a button to cancel or go back to the previous page. The IGA had a pop-up window to change the address, and the only way to go back was to cancel the window, which was somewhat inconvenient. Woolworths buttons use the iconic green and oval form, and the dashed line around the clicked button indicates feedback after the action to ensure consistency. Woolworths used several real-world icons such as delivery truck, clocks, cards, and more. Users know what content they will be taken to without having to think when they click on these icons. A button in the top left corner of the checkout page allows the user to return to the home page at any time if there are still items to purchase. On the checkout page, users can select the date and time they would like their order to be delivered. The color of the IGA item button matches the color of the logo. When the button is clicked, it will appear a split second darker than the original color as feedback. As with Woolworths, IGA uses real-world icons such as shopping carts, shopping lists, delivery trucks, etc. For the user control and freedom, there is no clear textual representation of clicking on the logo to return to the main page. However, when the shopping cart is opened, there is an alert to remind the user that the cart is less than $50 and the user can access and continue selecting items. Both shopping sites use a standardized layout. For example, the homepage icon, the shopping cart icon, and the search bar at the top of the site. The placement of these icons is similar, as they follow familiar user mental models and patterns. This also allows infrequent online shoppers to know how to operate with little or no experience. Both Woolworths and IGA perform well when it comes to adding items. both sharing the user's past experience by displaying plus and minus signs when clicking Add to Cart, and the number of items purchased. Both browsers give suggestions in the search bar when the user wishes to search for an item, so users can find the item they are looking for without having to type in the full word. In summary, two major interface design issues were identified. The first was the issue of finding the location of the shopping cart, in contrast to Woolworths, where the shopping cart can be found visually in the top right corner, highlighted in white and green for contrast. IGA users do not have a prominent button that advises them to view the cart. Even the button to view the account is more prominent than the shopping cart, and the color of the shopping cart button is the same as the color of the menu bar. Secondly, neither system has the ability to click back to the previous page, which is impossible when the user wants to go back to the product they have just selected, and the user has to go back to the browser homepage and search for the product again, which can take longer and is not efficient. If this problem were solved, the user experience would be much more pleasant. Thank you for listening.